Just show of hands. And the answer is, it covers, the word tarbiyah covers six areas. 6 areas. As a father, as a mother, I should know these 6. Very simple. Okay, number 1. It's called az-ziyadatu wal-numu. It means when you do tarbiyah, you are, ziyada means you are increasing something. Imagine children are like jar. You're filling, increase. فَاقِدُ الشَّيْءِ لَا يُعْطِي. Just remember that. Because the child does not have it, you have it, you are able to give, you're filling. And an-numu means you are helping them grow with the good things that you have. That's 1. 2. حِفْظُ الشَّيْءِ وَرِعَايَتِهِ. You're protecting a child. And you are supervising it. Tarbiyah also. Protecting what? The asset. The child. Gift from Allah. When He gave me, so handsome, so beautiful, so clean. Now I'm not able to protect. There is no aqidah in his head. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. حسن القيام بالطفل. Proper care of a child. In everything we do. Some people do it differently, some people do it differently. The criteria is different. The system is different. The method is different. التعليم من المربي. That's number 4. All the education. Education of the deen, education of the academics, the technical, the professional knowledge, whatever. That's also comes from the murabbi, from the tarbiyah doer or tarbiyah giver, which in 2 conditions are 2 people. One is teacher, one is mother, yes. And number 5 or 6 are at-ta'deeb, which is, ta'deeb came from adab, means disciplining. Discipline. And discipline's fruit is that the child learns how to do adab and when to do adab. So if you were to teach them that this masjid is a place of ibadah, and Rasulullah ﷺ says there are adab. Had this concept is there, I can guarantee you, and you know more, that the children will come here, they will sit there with adab. Because they already know, I'm not at home. This place is different. But because this difference was not inculcated, unfortunately, that's why we see what we see. And last but not least, at-takafful bi-umur as-saghir, or maybe taking ownership or the taking care of the matters of the young child. Any questions so far? Oh, by the way, how many minutes do I have?
12 minutes.
12 minutes. Oh, okay. So I will have to cut short. Okay. We need to know the age groups, and then we're going to talk about those common mistakes. So inshallah we'll wrap this. You know how many age groups are from the Islamic perspective? One is called Sinnur Rida'a, the age of infancy, when a child is baby. So the thing that we do when he's a baby is different than when we do when he's a child. So we need to learn this. Next one is called Sinnur Tufula, age of childhood, like toddlers. When you say called kid, like between 6 and 11, 12. The next one is called Al-Murahaqa, the adolescents. You know, the crazy teens from 13 to 14 to 19. That age group. And then comes what? Sinnul Bulugh, the age of puberty. When a person becomes baligh, when the legislation and the laws and the fiqh apply to him. So you're baligh, you have to fast. So there's a consequence for not doing something when you become adult. And then after that is Sinnu Shabab, the age of youth, which is maybe 20 plus, 25, on 4 and Shabab as we say. Now some of the common mistakes, or you can call negative behaviors from the parents. And inshallah, that answer will come, inshallah. Number 1, parents should not do this. They have to be all the time fair and equal to each of their children. It's called al-adlu wal-musawat. And whenever we treat any child with inequality, or we give one child a little bit more favor than someone else, child feels it. And why I learned this, I just prepared my another lecture. It's called How Rasulullah ﷺ used to correct mistakes of children. And I found it so beautiful. So I collected some samples from ahadith books. But there are so many. And I was like tired. I was thinking in the beginning I had difficulty finding. But there are far too many samples where Rasulullah ﷺ talked directly to the child. Just one sample for the sake of interest. This child, he saw him, كَانَ يَرْمِي نَخْلًا مِنَ الْأَنصَارِ. He was like having some stones and he was throwing rocks to the palm tree or the date tree belonging to an Ansari Sahabi. And the Rasul ﷺ passed by. He said, Ya ghulam, lima tarmi nakhla al-ansar. He said, what are you doing? The boy said, Ya Rasulullah, al-ju'u ya Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm hungry. I need to eat the date. And because I don't have it, and on the top there are dates, so I have no option but to throw rocks or stone so that it may fall and I eat it. So this is called mulahaza or muraqaba. Rasulullah ﷺ observed this. And then he gave a solution. And that solution has islah and ta'lim. He corrected the behavior, but he educated them too. He said, honey, that's not, ya ghulam, this is not right. Don't do this. Instead, you go to the bottom of that palm tree or date tree, and if you see dates from there, which are already on the ground, pick them up and eat. And then he called him. ثُمَّ مَسَحَ رَأْسَهُ وَقَالَ. And then he put his hand on his head and he said, Allahumma ishba batna. Oh Allah, make sure his belly is full. Dua. So unfair treatment is not recommended. And all the children from 6 and up, they have what in Arabic is called at-tamyiz, the age of distinction. They know. They even understand how someone just said that, the way we treat older children, and sometimes they don't listen. Not because they don't want to listen, but because they know the gesture. Because that instruction is not given in a proper way. That's why they don't listen. And second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and until it reaches to a level of rebellion. 2, sometimes karama versus ihana. This is a major mistake. He said, do not insult your child. Do not insult you. Do not do anything that a child feels insulted. Insult to child's dignity. Like for example, correcting a mistake in front of other people. In the parking lot when other people are watching. In the masjid. At home when other siblings are around. At the expense of privacy, personal dignity and honor. That's why I was reading the United Nations Charter of the Child. It's so long And the end one, he says the child has a right to, the child has a right to. You know the last one? The child has a right to be a child. Yani expect, he can do a mistake. Don't heat up, don't get angry, have patience. The third one, negative comparison. When parents, they compare between their own children, they say, oh, he's better. You see, you're not doing as good as he is. That's not right. So if you want to do this, isolate a child outside. That's why we say to the teachers who teach children, if you were to discipline someone, exclude him outside. Take him outside the door. Because there is no point of disciplining a child in front of other children. It means you're telling them in public, this is evil, look what he did. They don't have no business to know that. And I'll go one step more. لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء. The sixth juzu starts with, Allah does not love that when you make evil public. إلا من ظلم, except special circumstances when oppression is there. It's okay. But then when we talk about our own child, that's why some moms and some dads, they always share the child's personal information with their friends. In some cases, I recommend, but in all cases, no. Especially about grades. Because these moms, mashallah, everyone knows everyone. It's a small world. Because when the other mom's child talks to my child, and you say, my mom telling me you got a C, you got a D, I got an A. That's damaging. Third one, showing extreme anger. A child does something bad. He's not listening. Anger is not acceptable. وَالْقَاسِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Those who control anger and forget and forgive people, they are al-muhsineen. And Rasulullah ﷺ said something, anger management strategies. Al-ghadab, inna al-ghadaba min al-shaytan. Anger comes from shaitan. وَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ خُلِقَ مِنَ النَّارِ. And shaitan is being created from fire. And fire is hot. So when I become angry, I become hot. And when I become hot, I lose control over my senses. So that's why he said when you become hot, فَإِذَا غَضِبَ أَحَدُكُمْ فَلْيَتَوَضَّأْ. When one of you becomes angry, go and make wudu, means use water, calm yourself down. So this is discipline. This anger issue is very, very serious, very, very intensive, and very, very dangerous sometimes. Using extreme force, it's called ad-darb al-mubrah. Sometimes we discipline the child physically by using force. And what we must not do is to hit the face. It's forbidden. Rasulullah ﷺ, he said, مَا ضَرَبَ إِمْرَأَةً وَلَا خَادِمًا. He ﷺ never hit a child, a maid servant, or a woman. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So beautiful. So, and hitting is a result of what? Extreme anger. And the Rasul says, لَيْسَ الشَّدِيدُ بِالسَّرْعَ. A strong person is not who overpowers his rival in wrestling. But the strong one is الشَّدِيدُ مَنْ الشَّدِيدُ مَنْ يَمْلِكُ نَفْسَهُ عِنْدَ الْغَضَبِ. The strong person is he who restrains himself and controls when roused to anger. Expressing dislikes in a loud voice. You keep on, the mom keep on showering, or the father keep on hammering upon it. I don't like this. Stop doing that. Loud voice. Because what happens when a child is born and raised here? If you ever tell him one thing, he will answer. It's rare in this country, no matter who says to his child and he doesn't answer. That's the fault of system that we are living in. Children are taught independence here. You say, go ahead, respond. If he says something, you will say something, then he will say something, then he will say something. You will never be quiet. Because the system is teaching him, defend yourself. That's why it reaches to a point where we should avoid that. Losing temper every time there is a mistake. For every mistake I lose my temper, that's not right. I'm finishing, inshallah. Yelling and screaming, of course, it's not permitted. Excessive talking. Some people, they keep on talking, although the issue is over. Every time we see the child,